Increased patrols for the holiday weekend. Now the Monroe County Sheriff's Office is being clear about what they won't do. And the children of a woman who died inside a nursing home are brokenhearted. But they're also angry and confused because of what they say they were told by the nursing home and what was written on their mother's death certificate.
And they asked News 10 NBC Chief Investigative Reporter Berkeley Breen to get to the bottom of it.
Sandra Peckham was 85 years old when she died inside the Hurlbut nursing home here in Brighton. Her family says she was never tested for COVID, but her death certificate says that's what she died from.
This is my mother. She's acting silly in this picture.
That's the kind of person Sandra Peckham was.
Just being goofy, actually. A lot of times she was just goofy.
Peckham was born in Pennsylvania. She moved here when her sister enrolled at Roberts Wesleyan. She started a family and never left. She had 12 grandchildren and 11 great-grandchildren. She loved to watch wrestling, and her grandson raced motocross. And she rode to the races in the family camper.
And she would sit in the windows, the big windows, and watch my son race.
Shelley Simmons' notes, which she shared with me, shows her mother had an upset stomach on April 8th. By the end of the week, Mrs. Peckham wasn't answering her phone. By Saturday, staff told Shelley her mother was under the weather. On Monday, there was a little fever. And by that afternoon, Sandra Peckham was dead. Her family says despite their pleas, she was never tested. But then they got the death certificate, and under cause of death, COVID-19. Shelley, her brother and sister-in-law, called a social worker at the nursing home that day.
Then she says, well, we have to put that on all the death certificates.
And you all heard that?
Yes.
In the phone call?
Speakerphone.
I contacted Hurlbut Care Communities about this. In an email, they told me they follow state and federal guidelines for certifying death records. This is the CDC's manual on determining the cause of death with coronavirus. It says patients should be tested, but it is acceptable to report COVID-19 on a death certificate without this confirmation if the circumstances are compelling within a reasonable degree of certainty. State records show 7 confirmed COVID deaths inside Sandra Peckham's nursing home.
This here.
And then there's this. To add insult to injury, when Mrs. Peckham's property was boxed up to be quarantined for a month, a staff member wrote her room number on the front of the picture hanger her grandson made. And the same thing happened to the painting made by Shelley that her mother saved from 40 years ago.
Why couldn't you just do it on the back?
I shared that with the nursing home. They called it a regrettable error. They said the policy is to write the number on the back of the property. The nursing home owner says he's sad it's added to the family's pain, and he says they've offered to work with the family to fix that problem as best they can. Berkeley Breen, News 10, NBC.
That is heartbreaking.